Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another episode of Mental Health Matters. And as the title goes, today in this episode, we are going to look into how your mental health is influenced by relationships. And it's quite a big one because where do you start? And I think it's very important for me to clarify what exactly is it that I'm going to talk about today. And when I talk about relationships, really, I am not looking at a specific type of relationship or a specific kind of connection in regards to your mental health. I'm talking about all kinds of relationships. That is, or that could be a friendship, a partnership, a romantic relationship, a professional relationship, a relationship with your family, with your parents, with your relatives, any kind of relationship. I mean, there's so many different types of relationships. I think what we just need to take is the fact that we are looking at the relations that you have with other people and how that influences and impacts your mental health. And I think this is a good time to talk about this because it's the end of the year, and for most people during this time, or for some people during this time, they get to spend more time maybe with the people that are close to them or people that they haven't seen in a while, people they are connected to. So that can have a huge impact. In fact, it does have a huge impact every day of your life for as long as you're connected to other people and you're interacting, and for as long as you have certain relations with other human beings, then definitely your mental health is going to be impacted. What I'll start by unpacking is the fact that we need to realize something. We need to realize that everything that happens in your relationships, of course, the way you communicate, the way you interact, the information that you exchange, all the things that you exchange, that you share, all the things that you do, definitely are a reflection of where you are in regards to your mental health, where you are standing, what is happening with you. Usually, there's this thing of every single time you look at a person and the relationships that they have, or every single time you look at a person and the people that she or he usually hangs around with most of the time, we get an idea, we get an idea of, what kind of person he is, or the kind of personality she has. We get an idea of who you are, but it's more than just that. It also shows how you are operating mentally, what is really going on with you. And of course, observers or outsiders will not be able to tell every little detail, but you being in that relationship, you being in that partnership or whatever it is, definitely you should be able to tell. You should be able to tell if you look at how things are going, if you look at the kind of patterns, or how do you communicate? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you can trust this person? Do you feel like are you limited in regards to how much you share? What is your role? What are you doing? What are you giving? What are you taking? If you look at all those things, it will give you an idea. And it's really important also for us to look at the foundation of our relationships. And it's no secret. I think by now we all have seen, most people get to a certain point in their lives, and I'm pretty sure that it's different for different people. I don't think that there's one specific age or turning point in everybody's life where you realize that it's different for different people. And one thing for sure, you get to realize something about yourself, and that is there are some traits, there are some tendencies that you have adopted from the first relationship, the very, very first relationship or relationships that you've had as a human beings. And those are the relationships that occur during your childhood with parents, with whoever it is that is taking care of you, whoever it is that is surrounding you, the kind of connection that occurs at that point really influences everything, because that is how you get an idea of what is a relationship. You get an idea of the importance of a relationship. You get an idea of how to communicate. What does communication mean? It's defined by that. And of course, we grow up and we get to choose. I always make an example that when it comes to being an adult and dealing with your mental health, really, it's all about choices. If you think about it, you are constantly just choosing what works for you, what no longer works for you, what is something new that you can introduce, that can help you, that can benefit your mental health, what is something that you'd like to continue doing that you probably saw or learned or adopted, or something that was essential. It was essential, and you feel that I need to continue with this kind of pattern. In a relationship, I like to do something. I like to help someone, to show that I'm part of this connection, to show that they can trust me, to show that I'm invested in our relationship. I like to do things for them, and I expect that in return. That's just one small example, but that just shows you that we constantly design, we constantly choose what is it that works for us, how we want to show love, how we want to show trust, how we want to show whatever it is that you want to show, or to get, or to gain, or to do. You constantly are choosing it. So definitely our relationships are influenced by early stages of life. When you're a child, when you're an infant, and everything, the relationship that you have, whether it's with a parent or a guardian or whatever the situation, that shapes how you are going to play your roles, and that shapes how you are going to interact and exchange information in a relationship. And the thing about it is that it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable. You can't be like, oh, you know what? I'm single, so this doesn't apply to me. That there's no way in which I could portray certain things that my mom or my dad or somebody, something that I've learned while growing up. There's no way that I can portray it because I'm not in an intimate relationship, or I'm not in a. It's not about that. It plays out in every relationship. It can play out in a professional relationship where you feel like, oh, you know what? This is how I should be dealing with this person. This is how I should be engaging with this person, whether it is somebody in the professional space, whether it's a friend, whether somebody on the streets, whether it's a person that you don't know. When you're out there shopping and you're doing this and you're doing that, I mean, there are so many encounters where you have to interact with people that you don't know, and really that shows you a lot. That tells you a lot about this person that you don't know and where they stand. So imagine, I'll just share a quick example of myself. So I think it's a week ago or something, I went shopping. And when I went shopping, keep in mind, I was not in the best state of mind. I was not feeling good. I was not great. My mental health at that moment was deeply, deeply affected, and I was out of balance, most definitely out of character, because that's exactly what happens. So now, when you're out of character and you have to interact and you have to communicate, it becomes really tricky. So here I am. I know I'm aware that my mental health, everything, like I am just not in a good space. I'm not in a good space at all, and I don't have the strength, I don't have the energy to even interact with anybody. But I had to go to this particular store to go and collect something, and I had to, because there was no any other day, any other chance. That's it. So I went there, and I went there, I projected, and this particular guy was like making a joke, and saying things like, "Oh no, we don't have your puzzle. Like, we don't have it here. You know, um, it's not available yet." So it was a joke, but I just took it and I, threw it back to his face, and I got really, really angry, upset, and everything, and I just had a complete meltdown. So of course, post that whole situation and that moment, I realized that number one, you knew, of course, that you were in a bad space. You knew that mentally you were just checked out. You had to go to the store. You didn't have a choice. But how would you have better handled that? Because it affected me. I felt really, really bad. I felt really, really bad, because at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what if this guy could actually see that something is wrong and he was trying so hard to just, lighten me up, cheer me up, like make me laugh, get out of this space? What if that was the situation? So also, how is he doesn't know me. He doesn't know me. That's probably it is the first and it's probably the last time that he'll ever see me. So how, um, why does he have to go through that? Why did I have to put him through that? And I really, really felt bad. And, at some point, I was really like just planning to go there and apologize, um, because that had nothing to do with him. And I don't like that, but I was out of character and I knew prior to that. So that was really a dip. And this shows, to him or to anybody else, they're not going to think, ooh, they're not going to think too much about, ooh, maybe she's having a bad day. Maybe her mental health is taking a dip and so on. No, it's just going to reflect as that's just how she is. That's just how she is. She's rude. She is an angry person, etc. It's just going to portray itself as that. So this is exactly the crux of it all. This is the problem in most, even worse if it's an intimate relationship, even worse if it's someone that you're close to, people that you're close to, people that you share everything with or most of your time and energy with. It's even worse because when we are playing those roles in our different relationships and stuff, we somehow, I think it's human nature to expect that the other person knows or can tell what's wrong or what's happening. But that's not the case. That is not the case. Yes, certain people can learn very quickly about who you are and can tell when you are not maybe in the best place, and they know how to navigate towards that. But for so many people, it takes time. And for so many people, if you don't say anything, if you don't communicate it, then it's really impossible for them to tell that you're in a bad space. So this is the reason why. This is the reason why we end up having so many misunderstandings, broken relationships, things that are just irreparable, just an imbalance of everything, And if you look at your relationship and you look at your relationships around you and you just feel like things are just not working out, really, that is just a big and huge sign that indicates that something is up, something is really not balancing, something is up in terms of your own mental health system, in terms of maybe the way you communicate, in terms of, yes, conflict management. When you're in conflict, maybe you've learned unconsciously to deal with conflict in a certain type of way because of so many things that happened, so many things that you've seen. even when you are happy, self-sabotage can come in. You can sabotage your best moments, really, because this is how it is. Maybe you grew up in an environment around people that did not allow themselves to show happiness in relations to others. If they feel good, that they were not allowed, or they did not allow themselves to show that they feel good. They always had to worry, or just be in this negative, unhealthy, unbalanced space. And as children, we just absorb that, and we just unconsciously take that and carry that and think it's normal, and that's exactly what plays out. And then you wonder why things are not working out. You wonder why things are not balancing in relation to others. These are the things that we have learned. These are the things that we have absorbed. And so we have a choice. We have a choice to unlearn. We have a choice to adjust, to learn something new, to adopt something else that is better for you and your own mental health. And I think really, people, of course, would blame this digital era that we live in, and, communicating, virtually communicating online. And I must say, I think I've been in those situations too many times when I was trying to communicate something and it was misunderstood, and that made me flip. That made me flip completely. And it made me go back to valuing the ability to look somebody in the eye and communicate and portray a certain body language and analyze that body language, so that there is understanding at the end of the day and we are on the same page. Because that's also, there are so many other distractions, like I said, communicating online, and so many other things. So also you find that maybe you can't even balance um, your time. You are multitasking, you are frustrated, you can't even balance. Your mental health already is not in a good space, and then you have to communicate with other people. Definitely, you're going to end up projecting. Definitely, you're going to end up displacing your anger, displacing your frustration, displacing your sadness and everything to the wrong places at the wrong time, to the wrong people. So it really is essential for us to just constantly have the awareness and just check how is it that you deal with certain things. How to deal, some people, the way they deal with major issues in life is completely different from how they deal with minor issues. And remember, we define major and minor differently. What's major to me might be minor to you, definitely, indefinitely. So we need to be aware of that, so that we can take all that information and communicate it to the significant people in our lives, and communicate it to the other people, so that they understand exactly where you stand. They understand what is going on with you, and then in return they can be able to open up and actually give you an idea of what is going on with them. And in that manner, it is a huge benefit, a huge transaction, a positive one, in fact, for your mental health. So this is what I wanted to talk about and touch on today. Relationships are very broad and can be complicated, in my opinion. There's just a lot to it, especially if you are not aware of who you are, if you don't know yourself, where you come from, and where you are presently in regards to your mental health, your mental space, your emotional well-being. Then most of the time, relationships will definitely dig that out for you and put it out there. It will put it out there, not for you to feel ashamed or to feel embarrassed about who you are or anything, but for you to actually take that and fix that, for you to actually take that and adjust that, take that and analyze, where does it come from? Why was I not aware of this? How can I make a positive move moving forward? What can I do? I think that is really the intention of the idea of a relationship, really, to just dig up everything, right? To have those great moments with the people that you're close to and everything. But at the same time, you need to be able to look at all the things that are not working out, to look at all the things that are just not making you happy, things that are not, that don't sit well with you, things that affect you negatively, and look at them and look at how that can be changed. What needs to change? What's going on? Um, and introspect about that. We shouldn't be lazy to introspect, because when we don't introspect, our relationships become a platform for introspection. And forced introspection, I'd like to call it forced introspection. It's not nice when things are just blowing up and blowing up and blowing up in your face every single time because you are unwilling to confront them. That is the most uncomfortable thing. That is the most frustrating thing. So why not just face it, and think about, why is it that I'm in constant cahoots and conflict and everything in those relationships, and why am I not feeling balanced? Remember, it's all about how you're feeling. If you think about a certain relationship with a group of people or a person, and instantly you're not feeling well, instantly you've got issues, instantly there's so many things, then that is a big sign that something needs to change. So I hope this was helpful and insightful, just something out there to think about, something out there that we should consider and look at how mental health is affected. I mean, another thing, you could be having a falling out with a friend or whoever, and you have to go to work and be in a professional space and cover up and put on that face of professionalism and do the work. Imagine how hard that is. That is extremely hard, because for some people, that means they have to take that and shove it under the carpet and move on. For some people, it's like they have to fight against themselves. How do I pretend that I'm okay? How do I pretend like I'm able to work? I'm able to do this job. I'm able to do something that I need to do. Yet deep down inside, I'm still dealing with that conflict that I dealt with that particular person that I trust, that I love, etc. It affects you. And personally, for me, I can't. I really cannot pretend if I'm having trouble, if I'm not balanced in any of my relationships, and then I have to go to that relationship and I have to go to that place and put on an act. I cannot. It really is taxing, it's exhausting. So for me, I prefer to be able to deal with things immediately, and unfortunately, that is beyond my control. Sometimes there are so many factors that will not allow you to deal with things immediately, but that will force you to take time out and introspect and think about everything. So I hope this was insightful once again, and definitely not easy to post a video during the end of the year, holiday season and stuff. It's really complicated for me. That's why it has taken me so long, and so on. So thank you so much. I hope everybody is staying safe, taking care of your mental health during this season, and I will definitely see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You are welcome to also drop me an email if there's something that you want to talk about. If you need any kind of professional advice, definitely, and if you just have a question about anything, or if you have a question for me or about me, I don't know, whatever it is, really, all I'm just saying is that I'm welcome and I'm open to interacting with you all. Thank you so much. Take care and see you next time. Bye.